Hello, my name is Benton, a shaman in the Japanese Shinto tradition. Today, we're diving into a complex and important topic: psychedelics and spiritual awakening. Substances like LSD and magic mushrooms have been praised for their ability to unlock profound states of altered consciousness. But how do these chemically induced experiences compare to the deep, controlled states reached through ancient spiritual traditions? Why do so many mystical paths caution against using substances for spiritual growth? And most importantly, what unseen dangers might be waiting when the mind is opened up without being prepared? Psychedelics like magic mushrooms are often celebrated for dissolving the boundaries of the self, creating an intense feeling of oneness with the universe. It's the kind of experience where users might say, "I finally understand the meaning of everything," or "I heard the voice of God." These experiences are powerful because they quiet the constant chatter of the mind, creating space for a different type of awareness. But what ancient traditions remind us, and what modern users forget, is that these experiences are temporary. They fade as quickly as they come, leaving users seeking more, without them even understanding what they've already experienced. The states reached during a psychedelic journey can feel profound. Heightened awareness, vivid colors, and intense imagery. But these states are fragile, fleeting. When the drug wears off, users are left with fragmented memories and confusion. Without a grounded spiritual practice, they can be left exposed. Psychedelics open the door, but they don't give you the tools to navigate what you've let in. What people don't understand the most is that consuming these things open up portals within the mind, which can result in hearing voices and just losing control of yourself. These portals are very hard for even me to close. Although I'm getting better, it's not something that you want to deal with in the first place. What's more remarkable than any experience on any drug is that these states of heightened awareness aren't exclusive to psychedelics. Meditative practices that have been refined over millennia are designed to bring about the same states of consciousness, but in a controlled, sustainable way. These ancient methods allow for gradual, deep transformation, where insights are slowly integrated into everyday life. In contrast, psychedelics thrust you into these spaces without preparation or protection. The ancient wisdom passed down through spiritual traditions warns us against the use of external substances to reach higher states. It's not because they don't work. On the contrary, they do work. But they leave the user vulnerable to confusion, spiritual imbalance, and darker forces. Consider this. When you open up your consciousness so abruptly, there's no filter, no defense mechanism. Without proper grounding, the door is open to anything. And while the dangers may seem theoretical, real-world cases show that psychedelics can have disastrous effects. Take Tamarius Davis, who under the influence of magic mushrooms, shot and killed an innocent man in Miami Beach in 2021. He later told police that the mushrooms made him feel empowered during the senseless attack. Then there's Thomas Chan, who consumed magic mushrooms with friends in 2015 and later experienced a psychotic break, during which he stabbed his father to death and severely injured his father's partner. These aren't isolated cases. Consider the man high on psilocybin fatally attacked his own family in the California desert. Or Joseph Emerson, the off-duty pilot who nearly shut down an airplane's engines after experiencing a breakdown induced by magic mushrooms. What's happening here isn't just about chemical reactions. It's about the spiritual vulnerability these substances create. It's chilling to think that in those moments, something deeper may have been happening, something beyond the chemical effects of the drug. When users open themselves to these altered states without protection, there's a real chance they're inviting darker forces into their mind. Forces that can influence thoughts, behaviors, and even actions. The case of Thomas Chan illustrates this vividly. He believed he was God during his hallucination, turning on his loved ones in a horrifying act of violence. Ancient spiritual systems were built not only to open the doors of perception, but to protect the practitioner along the way. When you practice meditation or yoga or Buddhism, you don't just experience superconsciousness states, you build energetic defenses. Psychedelics, on the other hand, leave your energy field wide open. That's why spiritual practices like these emphasize gradual enlightenment. Real spiritual growth takes time. It's not something you can rush by taking a substance. The faster you go, the less stable you become. It's a recurring theme in spiritual traditions worldwide. Slow and steady progress built on discipline, awareness, and deep inner work. Psychedelics might give you a brief, intense glimpse into higher states of consciousness, but without a solid foundation, those glimpses fade, leaving you with more questions than answers. And the risks extend far beyond confusion into the dangerous territory when your energetic body becomes compromised and darker forces may manipulate your vulnerability. And yet we haven't even touched on the most terrifying consequence of using psychedelics for spiritual growth. In many traditions, the second death represents the complete severing of the soul from its divine source. It's the ultimate loss, a spiritual death, even though the body may continue to function. When people misuse psychedelics, they risk this ultimate disconnection. Their spirit is lost, adrift without its purpose, severed from the very essence of their being. The pursuit of higher awareness is a journey that requires care, wisdom, and protection. Let it be guided by discipline, not by shortcuts.
起津鏡、平津鏡、八翼の剣、幾玉、たる玉、まかるが石の玉、しが石の玉、おろちのひれ、八のひれ、キスキスのもののひれ、ふるべ、ゆらゆらとふるべ。